Um, I wrote a story and I actually want to share it with you. I'm starting to write again. I haven't wrote in years, so this is kind of rough and I'm just starting to get back into it. So I'm really wanting to share it with all of you on YouTube and see what you think of it. So let me know what you think, if you like this or not. And if you enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment. I'm hoping this video and this story will be good to help cause you to release any stress or energy that you have going on in your life, and help you to focus on something else, something more positive, because it is the month of Share the Positive. I also have a poem that will be released as a premiere at night too, and I'm really hoping it'll help you sleep, help you to become calm and relaxed. So anytime that you're feeling stressed and you need something to help you to relax, and my stretching routines don't seem to be doing the trick for you, then maybe if you enjoyed this poem, you enjoyed the music in the background, you enjoyed the pictures that I use for the slideshow part, that maybe it'll help you to be able to help you calm down so you can have a better day at work and a better night's sleep. So I will tell you what the story is about, kind of like a prelude. It's a very short story, probably about 5-6 pages long, is all it is. And it's been a long time since I've wrote stories, so I'm kind of nervous about sharing this and sharing my poem with you guys. But basically, if you are in my religion, it will definitely touch your heart. You'll understand it more if you are in my religion than if you're not. So let me just put it to you that way. It is definitely, would be definitely considered a good sci-fi story. So if you're a sci-fi person or into the, anime stuff and all that, you probably will enjoy this story. And I'm hoping you enjoy it, and I hope that it really makes you smile, and maybe by the end of it, you'll be sound asleep. So all the slideshow starts out with some inspirational quotes, some quotes that I've came up with on my own, and some quotes that I just personally like and wanted to share in a slideshow, and in a short that I did for Share the Positive, month of positive in February. And then some of these, the rest of them, if any of the other pictures that you see are actually pictures that I've personally taken of animals and scenery. So you'll get to see my shot at how good I am at photography as well. So let's get started. I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the pictures, and if you're not interested in watching the pictures, enjoy the music and enjoy listening to the story. Okay, here we go. The name of this story is Hold On to Your Hope, and I'm going to apologize to you guys ahead of time. The reason is because my handwriting isn't the greatest. I admit I'm a lefty, and so my handwriting is not that great. So even though I wrote the story personally myself, I may stumble at points because remembering what I wrote or remembering the word that it's supposed to be. So here we go. Enjoy the pictures and enjoy the story. Hold on to your hope. The sunset was unusually pretty this night. She was looking out as the ocean waves was hitting the beach. She smiled as she thought about how different life was now. Everything was so calm, serene, peaceful, no stress like it used to be. Nothing like what it was in the old world. Times was so stressful. She thinks back to the day she was 19 and was on a girls' trip with her closest friend and got the news her dad had passed. She had no job, and to help her mom with the bills, things were tight till her dad's retirement kicked in. She and her mom lived on cheap food and barely scraped by, but still found time to entertain friends and help ones that were in need. She had a young suitor looking for her attention, but she turned him down. As time passed, they ended up marrying. Their marriage, as life was, had its ups and downs like a roller coaster ride. but they always came out on top thanks to their strong faith. As time went on, things and stresses increased, wars increased, violence, immorality, things she remembered reading about in a book that once felt was old and out of date. But it wasn't. She loved that book. She's seen the things in it being fulfilled all around her that she read in it. How can a book that fulfills prophecy still in her time be out of date? Things started really getting rough. There was a pandemic that came, and times there was food shortages and different staples. It was hard to get a hold of. She's sitting remembering how much her and her husband struggled, both working full times, sometimes very stressful at their jobs, but they kept going to make ends meet. She had hope for a future so real she could taste it, and no longer would they struggle. But now things would get worse before they got better. Both her and her husband had lost parents, but hold out hope till one day when reunited with them. She knew it was going to get rougher, but she had faith, hope in the things unseen. One day, all of a sudden, the world just stopped. It just happened overnight. They said that they got everything under control. Finally, all governments were at peace with one another. No more fighting. They were in agreement, but just one thing they asked to be stopped. No more practicing your faith, no religion. Then everyone would be at peace in their hearts. She looked at her husband. What? Wait. Is this for real? Is this it? Is this really happening? They both smiled at each other nervously because they knew what this really means. Are we ready for the final test? Are we strong enough to stand our ground? They said to one another as they grabbed each other's hand and prayed. At first, it was peaceful. Nothing worse had happened, but within a few weeks, again, overnight, it turned upside down. That's when it was found out there were 8 million strong that did not renounce their faith, and they began one by one hunting them down. They thought, and she thought about it, and she was so clear. Me and my husband were dragged in the street with others like them, holding fast to their faith. They were put in the middle. This is it, she said to her husband. Remember, even if they should kill all of us right now, because we won't give up, He will bring us back again. And then the group united and made them more mad because they sang, courage, give us courage, help us always see there are more with us than there are against us. Courageous let me be. As the guns began to fire, she looked at her husband in disbelief. The bullets didn't touch them. Not one of them. They seemed louder. They tried everything. Guns, knives, they threw torches, grenades. Nothing was touching them. They grew afraid. It was at that moment everyone's eyes was open. You could see them, hundreds of them, forming a barrier around them, men in white. Wait, these are not men, these are angels. In that instant, one by one, they fell and perished into all over the world, and they were gone. 8 million strong standing left unharmed. Is this real? Could this be the end of Armageddon? Everyone turned to each other, crying, smiling, hugging, singing praises. We did it! We did it! We made it! She said to her husband as she watched the stars come out over the ocean. She heard a familiar laugh and a familiar whistle behind her. It was her husband and her dad joining her. How was your day, guys? Her husband replied, always wonderful, never a bad day. 5 more were resurrected today, and your dad and I almost got the Moore family's house finished, just in time for them to welcome back their 8-year-old daughter who died of cancer. Dad, she asked, how is Kevin doing? Well, her dad replied, since you've been busy cooking for everyone and taking around newly resurrected ones for walks, Princess and her cubs kept her company. Princess is a black panther that she has found formed a bond with. Her and her cubs visit her every morning. She smiled. Good, I'm glad. Maybe Princess would like to sleeping on my rug by the bed again tonight. Just then, they heard a whale call in the distance. She looked at her dad, who loved animals and swimming as much as she did. Looks like Sparky is here to say hi. Sparky happened to be a killer whale, or an okra. That one of her dreams in the New World was always to go swimming in the ocean every day with okras. She was so excited to hear Sparky. She said, what do you say, Dad? Let's go for a swim. I missed you so much, Dad. I'm so glad you've been resurrected. Let's go, he said. I'll race you out to Sparky. Ha ha, you know I'm determined to win this time, as she smiled. The next morning, she rose early to watch the sunrise, and there was Princess and her beautiful cubs there to greet her as they do every morning. As she walked with Princess and her cubs, she was greeted by Rose, who till after Armageddon was wheelchair bound. Hello, Rose. Want to help me with breakfast? I heard we are welcoming back some resurrected ones today. Rose with a smile. You know I always enjoy our mornings together. Let's make something special. As they get back to the house, Dan, Rose's husband, greets them. He was deaf until after Armageddon, and now he can hear perfectly. Some started showing up. As they sat, the food out, and more arrived with baskets of food. There comes John, who was blind in the old world, and his wife, Maria, who was paralyzed by a stroke, now in perfect health. All of a sudden, her husband, father-in-law, sister-in-law, dad, and mom came running up, super excited. They all started talking. I wonder who's next. Maybe today we see my mother-in-law again, who died from a weak heart and cancer. And her and her husband both stayed by her side until she took her last breath. They waited excitedly to see who it was. All of a sudden, they caught sight of her. No way. This can't be. But it was. It was her. It was her turn finally. So many friends and family has been welcomed back, but finally her husband was going to spend time and catching up with his mom. They ran and couldn't get to her fast enough. Tears of joy filled their eyes as they once again got to hug her and talk to her. That day went on. She stayed busy taking care of animals that came by and fixing meals. She also at times helped with young ones whose parents hasn't been resurrected yet. She loved children, and she loved the privilege of being able to take care of them until they were reunited with their parents. It was different this time, though. Finally, her and her husband's parents were all here and back. Her brother and sister surely made it to the other side of the world by now, making and meeting all kinds of friends. After all, it's true, genuine peace now. Nothing holding anyone back. Peaceful, friendly, everyone, everywhere you go is kind and hospitable. And she looked around, she smiled. There was African, Asian, Spanish, Arabian, Pakistani, Indian, German, Russian, French, all of them laughing, hugging, dancing together, and sharing food. This is it. And finally, the real life that she and her husband have been fighting for and waiting for so long. At the same time, she rubbed her stomach because finally they were having a child of their own. In the old world, she couldn't have children, but all of that was given back to her. And now she's going to finally have the joy of having her own child. It's such a joy to get up looking in her early 20s and fall full of energy and health, with a smile ready and joyfully looking forward to what each day would bring, knowing it would be nothing but peaceful and happy. The end. There you go. There's another story. I have a story for you. So I'm not always the best story writer. It's been a long time since I wrote stories, so maybe next time I will type it up instead of write it out, or write it out and then type it up for you, so that'll go a little bit smoother when I read it. So I used to write stories about mysteries, about people being kidnapped, murdered, things like that, and they would be not as long as the story was. So I'm going to try to get back into doing things like that. Let me know what you think, if you'd like to hear more and like to see me do more. So whatever you do, keep moving, keep eating healthy, don't give up. Make sure you hit a little red subscribe button if you enjoyed this. Share this with others that you feel need something to help them unwind, help them sleep, but something that'll have positivity, put positive thoughts in their head. I hope you've enjoyed the share the positive month, because now we only have a few more days left. I really would love to hear what some of your favorite moments were during this month with some of your favorite YouTube creators. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed this, want to hear more from me, and see what else I can come up with when it comes to stories and poems. Have a great evening. Thank you so much for all your time and support.